formidable robot.
I know I have started each post like this, but I like to keep reminding people that it's me writing this. The name's Jay, short for Jason, long for Ja. The same boy who escaped the junior playtesting program and watched the Mario and the End of the Line episode of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. I know I keep breaking my promises to stay away from all Nintendo-related properties, but I made another promise in my previous post, if you've seen it, and that's to see what they're hiding in Super Nintendo World. Yes, I made that promise, and now you're getting it. Of course, it was foreclosure on what's been happening behind the scenes at Nintendo, so I went there, not there to play anything, go on the rides, or whatever. I am too old for all of that, and that's just not what investigators do. For those who don't know what Super Nintendo World, which is normally in all caps, is, and before I jump right into the story, I should explain what this resort is. It is basically a theme park that was opened in Universal Studios Japan, in Osaka on March 18, 2021, then in Hollywood on February 17, 2023, and has been set to open in Singapore in 2025. However, the one in Japan was temporarily closed down on April 25, 2021, and you can thank COVID for that. Then it reopened on June 1st of the same year. I won't go into detail about the rides, you can go there yourself, but basically the rides are mostly themed after Mario, because who wouldn't Nintendo theme it on? But basically it is divided into two areas, Super Mario Land and Donkey Kong Country. Now okay, maybe not just Mario, as Donkey Kong is its own thing too. I could go into more detail, but the story may get too long, and I am not here to describe the park. But that is the basic synopsis of it. Now I do like Universal Studios a little bit more, as I know they are technically not responsible for Nintendo's true actions, like the experiments done on children, basically shady stuff if you've been there, as I've said in my previous posts. So I have no beef with Universal Studios, but I didn't know how to feel about this collaboration. So I got there, and just as expected, the park was bright, loud and colorful. I saw many people just as expected. I saw glimpses of the mascots of Mario, Peach and the others. I walked through the main pipe tunnel, through the castle doors, and was hit with the fake-looking blue sky as it hit my eyes. It gave me a headache, just something about it felt artificial and made me feel trapped, like when I was experimented on by this corporation. I wandered, alone, I didn't have my family or my buddy Jacob with me here, and ignored the other tourists. My eyes were scanning the corners, back rooms, and places normal people wouldn't pay attention to, like an AI. As I walked through the Mushroom Kingdom, I saw the mascots, Mario, Luigi, etc. They were waving innocently. I waved slightly at them. I can tell they felt confused by my small wave, which was understandable as many people who come here are normally enthusiastic. But I was on my way, it took hours, but I was finally there. I found something. It was past the Yoshi's Adventure ride, behind a false wall near the emergency exit, a service door was open. There was nothing, just a pale hallway and flickering light. But I saw something standing inside. It was a figure. It was inside of a dirty-looking Mario costume with some burnt marks here and there. I stood there frozen. It didn't speak or move, then raised a finger and motioned for me to follow. I just waited until it turned around and disappeared into the hallway. My heart was inside of my throat by this point, but my feet followed anyway. I don't know why I did this. I guess you can't escape being gullible even as an adult. I kept close to the wall as I passed through the maintenance doors and silent break rooms as the figure spoke.
Long time no see, Jay.
I didn't respond at all. But I recognized the voice, and that made me more terrified. This was one of those eternal stalkers I saw back at the experiment who followed my torturer. Though the man didn't say anything else to me, I heard a slight sigh, as he expected me to say something back. Then I saw it, a heavy door reading L.P.I, simply as that. It was unlocked, and I waited until the Mario mascot stalker was far enough away for me to enter the room. Then when I saw the chance, I quietly entered the room and then closed the door behind me. Inside, the room was small. The walls were gray, a single bench, and in the middle is what caught my eye the most. It was a perfectly accurate Luigi costume. Not the ones you see the mascots in, this one looked mechanical. Like the exact size of a real man, and the fabric appeared to be denim. The white gloves were faux leather, and there were real brown boots. But that's not what caught my eye. What caught my eye was how inside, there were wires, gears, tubing and internal metal braces just behind the see-through glass eyes. There were also other models, ones small enough to fit a child inside. But those were worn out and don't work anymore, and as I tapped them lightly, they sparked with electricity. I jumped out of fear. To test the inside, I pulled the Luigi headpiece off, and I tried finding something in the room to test the sensitivity. Then I came across a broken broomstick on the ground. I picked it up and then gently tapped the metal parts, and then a loud snap made me quickly pull my hand away as the sharp metallic parts clamped down onto the stick. I backed away as I then heard a familiar voice behind me.
I see you made it, Jay.
I turned around and saw Dr. Crane. He was way older and thinner than the last time I saw him. There was no guilt or fear, he was just annoyed.
I always knew you would come back. You couldn't resist,
he said. Then I took a step back as I responded to him. What is this? What is L.P.I? He laughed.
Luigi prototype insertion. A failed immersion suit. We attempted to synchronize them with the wearer's motor function for a next-generation horror experience. Of course, it didn't pass safety trials, obviously.
I watched as he walked past me, right to the suit.
They wanted to shelve it, and I said it was promising.
Then he began to put it on, and I whispered, "You're insane." He looked at me and smiled.
Insanity? Jay, we called it a process. You think theme parks are built on fun? They are built on data. Sacrifice. It takes blood to innovate, Jay. You should know that by now.
As he pulled the chest piece closed, then came the sound. A sharp click, followed by a horrible crunch. He froze as his eyes widened. The internal mechanisms had triggered. Metal shot through his torso, screws tore through the muscle, and blood splattered the inside of the head of the costume. Blood stained the glass eyes as he tried to scream, but it was cut off as one of the braces punctured his throat. I heard a very sickening gargle as he slumped forward. The Luigi face stared at me blankly as the glass eyes shot towards Crane's eye sockets, piercing them. Now smeared with his blood from within, as blood started to pool at his boots. I stumbled backward, my heart was pounding, as alarms started to play somewhere deep as I ran blindly from the way I came, past the staff hallways, and out the door. Not a single soul stopped me from doing so, as if nobody noticed. Now I don't think they will ever find Crane's body, but honestly I prefer if they don't find him and let him rot. He is in his own grave now. Dark to say, I know, but honestly I know Nintendo will just bury this incident regardless, just like everything else. But that moment in the L.P.I room and watching the very thing he created kill him felt like justice to not only me but also the many children he harmed. Not because I wanted him to suffer, but something pushed back. I am not sure at this point if I am done looking or not. But knowing Nintendo, there are likely more secrets to uncover at Super Nintendo World. But if you are reading this, I understand the deal with curiosity and stuff, but stay clear of the staff areas. Why? Well, some other friends I've shared this story with who have come to the resort have claimed to have seen a Luigi costume similar to the one I saw as I fled the park, peeking at them in certain attractions of said park.